Hey everyone, Lisa Resnick with The Real Tea. I am with Justin Mondok of Eastgate, one of the planners there. How are you, Justin?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here, Lisa. Thanks for having me.
So I have actually known Justin for quite a while, but one thing I've never asked Justin, and I figured I'd take this opportunity, is how'd you get started and how'd you end up at Eastgate?
Yeah, so my background is in environmental studies. That's kind of what I studied in school. And it was pretty wide ranging, for anywhere from water quality to air quality. And going through that education and getting some background in kind of the hard science of it and the more social side, uh, you know, came out of my education with this, perspective that, you know, the environment kind of touches all areas.
Yes, it
Uh,
does.
so when I was looking into, what I could do with that education, I found planning, and planning wasn't really something that I was personally told about, by advisors and, through my education. So I am extremely glad that I happened to find something in that realm because it's turned out to be something that I greatly enjoy. And here at Eastgate, I started doing some work on our environmental side, dealing mostly with water quality, and things like that. And then started to get into the air quality side of it with our Go Ohio Commute program, Mahoning Valley Air, and managing those programs. And then just have over time started to get into more transportation aspects of it, relating to multimodal transportation, bike and pedestrian planning, and now working on kind of the larger regional long-term planning aspects of our work.
Which is awesome. And for everyone out there who doesn't quite know what Eastgate is, what is the best way and most simple way to explain to them the significance of Eastgate in our area?
Yeah, we're kind of this nebulous agency. So we're a government agency that is made up of all the local communities. So the cities and villages and townships and county organizations are all members of us. So we work for them and do planning level work for them. We also provide infrastructure funding. So we have funding programs that the communities are able to apply for to get money to do projects, roadway reconfigurations and resurfacing projects and, bike and pedestrian focused aspects of that work too. And then, we've also got kind of the environmental planning side. We've got economic development and Appalachian Regional Commission. So we do kind of the economic and environmental side of it as well, in addition to our transportation work.
Well, I know here, especially when you think about economic growth and real estate and just even our social and health well-being, infrastructure and that component, and actually knowing that you have a background in environmental as well is so significant to take those aspects when it comes to infrastructure planning and how to balance all of it out so it's pedestrian friendly and bike friendly, as well as recognizing still the need for vehicles.
Yeah, so sustainability is a big concept that's been around for quite a long time. And when you think about building sustainable and healthy communities, part of that is how we interact with those spaces. So where do people live and where do they work? Where do they shop? Where do they recreate? Where do they go for entertainment? And how do they get there? We can build a place where we separate all of those uses, and that kind of presupposes that people have access to long range transportation. So they need a vehicle to travel a long distance in a short amount of time. Or we could think a little more sustainable about it and we can bring uses together and put people and the amenities that they need near each other, so that they can easier access those, whether it's biking or walking or using transit. And that has a benefit not only for people on the financial side. They don't have to own and maintain a personal vehicle and have storage for it, whether that's
Very
parking
true.
on the street or in a garage. It's easier for them, and there's the idea of social determinants of health that plays into it. So people that are more active or healthier, the healthier people you have, the healthier community you have, and there's just this ripple effect when you put it all together.
It is amazing. And obviously I'm a huge advocate of making things more walkable. And even though I'm not as avid as a cyclist as you are, but making those components all mesh together along with the vehicles and making sure that we're not missing that significant portion. And on a real estate economic side, of course, I look at the significance of making things more pedestrian friendly, because that does boost up the economy. And it just has such an amazing positive impact to any community. It doesn't have to be a major city. It could just be a little suburban nook of a neighborhood, but it really does have such a phenomenal impact. And one of the main things, which I'm super excited about, that you guys have been working on, speaking of cycling, is the connector from Youngstown, the city of Youngstown, downtown to Mill Creek Park. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's a City of Youngstown project that they received funding for through the Ohio Department of Natural Resources to build a separate bike and hike facility for people to kind of separate that traffic. So it's along Mahoning Avenue, right from kind of the Mr. Peanut Bridge in downtown, and will connect into Mill Creek Metro Parks right at its northern terminus there. That facility is going to separate out the traffic that wants to use that type of bike trail. So for riders that maybe are a little more uncomfortable mixing in with automobile traffic and riding on the roads, they have the legal right to be there, but not everyone is as confident of a rider as everyone else. So we want to make sure that we're providing safe spaces for people to take on these activities. And if you're hiking or walking or jogging or riding a bike, having an accessible piece of infrastructure like that is key. And that's really just kind of the first step of it. So that's the most exciting part to me, is that, yeah, this is going in and this is real. And you know, you can make your way past Mahoning Avenue and you can see the concrete and the asphalt being poured. But this is just kind of like step one, is putting it there. You know, the bigger picture is, what are we connecting that to? And how can we build out this network across the entire region where people have these safe spaces to bike and walk and you know, access the things that they need.
What's amazing about that too, on the real estate aspect, how you guys just bumped up the value of everyone on Mahoning Avenue.
For sure,
which is pretty amazing. So I am 100% all about extending it. And it's one of those things, like you see the construction and the work being done a lot around the city. And yes, it definitely gets frustrating when you have to detour around different barriers that we're going through right now, but you know the end result is going to be phenomenal, in which you guys have a heavy amount to do with a lot of the things that are happening in the city. And you guys touch, like you just mentioned, you touch the valley all around, which it is like, it's basically, you know, what's happening, economic development in a certain areas, and then you guys then go in and you help plan when it comes to the infrastructure portion of things. And again, I love the fact that you have that environmental side to it too, because we all know active green space is definitely, it's been part of what's been happening. It's the present time, but it just is also the future. So, which is really good that you guys are doing that. Do you know of anything else that we should be excited about happening in the area?
Yeah, so you know, on the planning side of our agency, this upcoming year is going to be really exciting for kind of that active transportation aspect. So we have a regional bike plan that we've been sitting on for quite some time now. So we'll be going through an entire overhaul of that plan. The Ohio Department of Transportation just recently released what they call Walk Bike Ohio, which is their bike and pedestrian planning efforts. We're going to take what they did at the state level and bring it down to our local region and really format what we're doing off of the groundwork that they laid for that. So it's going to seamlessly integrate with the state's efforts so that makes it that much easier when we need to go chase funding or you know, coordinate planning efforts with the state agency. It's right there. It's laid out plain and clear, and it's the same as what they were doing. So we think that's a great, smart way to approach that. And in addition, we'll also be kicking off our long-range transportation planning efforts. So this takes a 30-year planning horizon and envisions what the two county, Mahoning and Trumbull counties, are going to look like 30 years from now, and really kind of sets the stage for what areas or do we expect growth? What areas do we expect maybe some investment in, and are there transportation infrastructure investment needs that will need to come to account for those changes.
And you guys are very much receptive to public input. So for anybody out there in Youngstown or the suburban areas, or you guys are in Trumbull County too, right? So Trumbull as well.
Yeah. Yep.
How would people be able to find out how their input can be taken into the planning process?
All of our programs and products that we put out have a public engagement portion to it. The best way to kind of keep tabs on all of that is through our website. We have a news section that gets posted pretty frequently with updates for what's going on, and any opportunities for engagement will show up there. Every month, we also have a citizens advisory board, and that advisory board has direct influence to our governing body, our general policy board. So open to the public, all of our meetings. So if you're interested, you can participate, on the citizens advisory board and come to those meetings every month and provide your input that way. Or you could kind of keep an eye out for individual projects. Like I had mentioned, the regional bike plan, our long range transportation plan, our metropolitan transportation plan. Those are going to have public engagement processes where we're going to get out into the community and do some engagement and have some online interactive engagement too. So a lot of opportunity there to really make your voice heard. And, in the end, we'll wrap all of that up and make sure we push out to show that input's not just kind of being thrown at us, but it's actually making an impact on the final product as well.
Which is great. And when do we get to see the grand use, if you will? Because it's not really just walking into a store of this bike path that we have going on.
The Mahoning Avenue one?
Yes.
I believe construction will be wrapping up here shortly. It looks like all the asphalt may be laid. I think there's just a few key components left. So within the next few weeks, I'd say, the city of Youngstown, I think, may know a little more than I do on the specifics of that. But I know that
I know you'll be there on your bike.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's my commute into work. So I'll definitely be making use of that.
That's right. And it is. We are, as I say this all the time, we are a city, but we're not too big that we can't be a little bit more active in our transportation. And again, it does have so many different positive benefits to us as a community that if you have the ability to run, walk, bike, whatever it may be, then get out there and do it for sure, because it does better our entire area.
100%. Couldn't have said it better myself. And I think, when we have this advocacy effort and this advocacy side of it, where we're, promoting the benefits of those types of activities, there's also kind of a responsibility aspect of it. And we need to put the safe infrastructure in. And that's really important because you could tell people all day, walk and bike and take transit. But if those facilities aren't safe near those people, what situations are you putting them in? So we need to make sure that kind of on the infrastructure side, we're making good on that end of the bargain as well.
Well, I'm very excited to see all the changes that are happening in the city. And I'm very appreciative of Eastgate's participation in helping making these things happen. So thank you so much, Justin, for every single thing that you are doing, because I know it's a lot.
No, thank you for getting the word out. I think that's, another big help is really being able to tell these stories and talk about this and help people understand.
And for everyone out there, go check out Eastgate's page. It will have a lot of information. And for those people who are interested in real estate, it is important to pay attention to what Eastgate is doing, because it can veer you towards the right direction of where you're looking to relocate, whether it be residential or commercial, because it does impact both sides. All right. Thank you so much, Justin.
All right. Thank you, Lisa.
All right. Bye.
Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell for notifications. And also make sure to connect with us on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. For all of your business news, visit businessjournaldaily.com. For all of your arts and entertainment news, go to afterhoursyoungstown.com.